Hey, good morning, fellow Patriots and Prepsteaders. Beth from Ozark Prepsteaders here. I am so sorry that I have been out of the loop for a little bit. We have some friends here in town, and they've been married a long time, 30 years, really strong couple. Remind me very much of me and Randy. They worked together for many years, raised a family together, you know, best friends, and she lost him last Friday. And it's been tough. It's been real tough. When you get to our ages, I think especially whenever you've been with the same person for a long time, you start to realize that, you know, somebody's going to go first, and you got a lot less life ahead of you than you have behind you. And it makes you look at things a different way, and it makes you consider life in a different way. And yeah, there's just been a lot of grieving and sadness, and also joy that he was a devout Christian, and we all know where he is right now, you know, full of joy in the arms of the Lord. And, you know, that's a good thing. Knowing where you're going to end up without a doubt is a good thing. And that leads me directly into politics, right? Because things are crazy. Like, they're super crazy. In fact, this will be my very last public video that has anything at all to do with politics. All things political will be moved to Patreon behind a paywall because things are so crazy. So I'm gonna give you an example of some crazy. We have a friend down in Arkansas. He's down around Mountain View area. Chris from Amendment 1 Preparedness. A lot of you, if you are preppers, homesteader type people, you're well aware of who he is. He is a major prepper, and he is also the inventor, creator of the canned ham radio. It's a very cool product. Maybe I get to do a review on it someday. It's super cool. Anyway, he got a notification this morning that his credit card processing company would no longer be servicing him because of the nature of his product. He builds and sells ham radios. So we've heard a lot of rumor that they're going to come after us on all different levels. A lot of us have seen it happening. I have seen it in my field of work with the National Association of Realtors, making the decision that they're going to monitor what we talk about in private. And, you know, if they catch us saying or doing something that is offensive, you know, there will be consequences. And yeah, folks who are in the world of any type of gear, military gear, preparedness gear, all that kind of stuff, obviously they're starting to, you know, come after them now. And it's just going to get worse and worse. Fortunately, there are lots of folks, payment processing companies, lots of alt tech that doesn't have any trouble doing business with us, so we'll be fine. And in fact, I actually think all of this censorship and banning of all of the conservatives may give way, may birth a whole new industry, you know, which is basically serving conservatives. And I think that's awesome. Tomorrow is the big day. And nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, okay? There are tons of people who claim to know. And I'm telling you, there is maybe a handful of people on the whole planet that know what is truly going to happen tomorrow. So I think it could go a couple of ways. First of all, if you have seen any of the photos and video coming out of DC, it is crazy. Like, what the heck is going on? Kind of crazy. They have walled off the Capitol building, but when they built the fences, all of the bolts and everything holding the fences together are on the outside, which makes absolutely no sense. If you're trying to keep the people inside safe, why would you build the fences so they could be taken apart from the outside? That makes no sense. Last count, there was something like 30,000 military people there. Do you know that in Afghanistan, I think at the height of the conflict and everything, our time there, we had like 25,000 troops there? And we got 30,000 in DC for a virtual inauguration of the quote unquote most popular president ever elected. Like, something just doesn't add up. Something's weird. So there's a couple of different camps of thought, right? One camp of thought is, this is the left, says patriots are planning to come in masse and try and take people out. Okay, I can tell you this. I am a part of a ton of patriot groups, conservative groups. My husband is part of a ton. All the different people we are connected with are, you know, probably between just my little circle, you know, we cover all of the main groups that you would expect, including some alt-right stuff, because you have to know what people are planning and what's going on. And not one single one, none, nada. Nobody has talked about going to DC and stirring things up or going to these state capitals. This is all leftist manufactured crap. And so that's one scenario, that they make all this up. They get Antifa, BLM folks to dress up like MAGA folks and start shooting. And that gives them a reason not only to come after conservatives even harder, but then to try and take all of our guns away, because we're all dangerous crazies, even though it's not us and it's them. Even though BLM rioted and Antifa rioted all last year, burned down businesses, caused billions with a B in damages, and murdered 47 people. We had a riot at the Capitol on January 6th, where it's been proven they were actually escorted in, and half the people inside the Capitol were the other side pretending to be us, and 5 people died. Therefore, all conservatives must go. You can't make this crazy up. So that's one scenario. The next scenario is I heard this word today and I love it, the hopium scenario, that there is a whole bunch of stuff happening. The military is going to take over, military tribunals, and, you know, we have a whole new election that they're not allowed to cheat on, and we start the process all over. That sounds so wonderful. If we could just have a true, fair election where every vote is counted and only people who are alive and who are actual US citizens are allowed to vote, man, that would be freaking awesome. Is that going to happen? Yeah, I don't know. Another scenario is there's some type of assassination attempt. I don't think that would happen. I think that could happen in conjunction with the first scenario. So the first scenario is the left brings in crisis actors, crisis people, acting MAGA people, meaning they are the left acting like they are MAGA people. Somebody takes a shot, Biden gets taken out, Kamala gets installed, which is what they want to happen anyway, and then they come after all of us because it's our fault, even though we had absolutely nothing to do with it. Maybe that could happen. I don't know. I think it's going to be hard with 30,000 military members and everything fenced off and everything kind of crazy like that. I don't know. It's just all weird, right? So what is truly going on? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I know for absolutely certain without a shadow of a doubt. And you can take this to the bank. The America that we used to know, the America that we knew pre-COVID-19, the America that we knew in January of 2020 is over. It is over and it is gone and it is not coming back. We now are in a new phase in our republic's history. And I really don't care what happens at the Capitol tomorrow, I know without a doubt things are never going to be the same. I know without a doubt there is a large faction of radical leftist, socialist, communists, not only here in America, but globally, that want America taken down and moved out of the way. And they do view all conservatives as standing in the way of that happening. Therefore, they are going to continue to come after us. There is not a doubt in my mind about that. So everybody has to figure out what you're going to do for yourselves and for your families and how you're going to make it and what you're willing to do. I think we got a large portion of folks who call themselves patriots that will just give up. They will just immediately give up. They are not willing to sacrifice their lifestyle, the things they have, all of that. They will jump ship and call themselves the other side if they have to keep life going the way that they've known it. I think of the remaining section of patriots, you will have varying degrees of how hard they fight and in what ways they fight. I can tell you from my family, we feel like we were called to this area of the country and called here for the purpose of helping other people get to safety. And we will continue to do that. I will not continue to speak out publicly about politics simply because of the fact that I could lose my ability to do my job, and that would stop me from being able to help more people. My goal is to help 6 families a month get here, get settled, get to freedom, and be in an area of like-minded people. They're not all coming here to my specific area, but I can tell you that every day I hear from at least one other person who tells me they are feeling this calling to come to the Ozarks, that the Ozarks seems to be literally calling them. I talk to people all the time. They're like, I never even heard of it. I didn't even know where the Ozarks was. And somebody mentioned it to me, or I saw something online, or I just had a feeling and I started researching. So whenever you have this many people telling you the same thing over and over, there's probably some validity to what is going on. And I personally believe our country will be cut up into some different regions. I believe that from eastern Oklahoma and Texas, all the way over through Tennessee, down through Georgia and Florida, we will have a strong patriot conservative presence. I also believe there will be a strong patriot conservative presence up in through the Dakotas into Montana and a little bit of northern Idaho there, and a pretty strong presence up in the Michigan area. I think the rest of it is all up for grabs. So I think a lot of folks are feeling like they are being called to this area for a specific purpose. And I will tell you this, and I've said it before, the variety of folks I am seeing coming in here, their skill sets make for an amazing new community to rise up and work together. Did you all hear that the largest landholder in the United States right now is Bill Gates? He is buying up land all across the heartland of America. Farmland, forest land. What do you think he wants all that land for? You know who the second biggest one is? Foreigners. China owns a ton of land here, a ton. Prices are going up like crazy. Folks that have a lot of money and have cash are not having any problems. Average folks, it is getting more and more challenging. If you are thinking about it, I would strongly suggest that you get busy because it is going fast. Because I did talk about real estate here, I will have to put my little disclaimer slide up that says I'm a realtor. Although if you've been watching for any length of time at this point, you already know that. I know this is a scary time. I know that as we move forward as we get through today and tomorrow, and we move forward. Doesn't matter what happens tomorrow, it's going to continue to be a scary time. And I just want to encourage you, do what you feel in your heart is right for you and your family. If you are a believer, you know that you take orders from the Lord first and foremost. So pray to the Father, pray to Jesus, ask for direction, listen to the Holy Spirit, and go where the Lord moves you. And for some of you, it may be just to shut down. Like you just try and fade into the woodwork. Maybe you erase all of your social media stuff. You get rid of everything. I do want you to be aware that every single thing that's ever been put out on the internet since the beginning of the internet is stored and archived on the internet, and people can get to it. So you can delete your Facebook, and you can delete your pictures, and you can delete your videos, and you can do everything you can to wipe it all clean. It is still out there, and somebody can find it, and it can come back to haunt you. So just think about that. If you are concerned, just know it's out there. I am not too concerned about the things I've said or done in the past because I have just exercised my right as an American to talk about and discuss the state of our country. However, moving forward, we are seeing that they are canceling us now left and right for having an opinion. And we are seeing more and more they are going to take away our right to do business, to hold a job, eventually probably to shop, things like that. And so I'm not willing to fight with that whenever I have a mission to help people. I'm not going to risk not being able to help people get to freedom because I wanted to get on Facebook and talk about politics. I'll figure out another way to have my voice be heard. And I hope you all do the same. For us personally, Randy and I have talked about this quite a bit. We firmly believe that to save what is left of this nation, and if we are going to rebuild, it starts at the local level. We all need to get involved. If you are in a place where it is possible to homeschool, you've got to get your kids out of these public schools. These public schools are poison. They are poisoning your children's brains. Get them out. If it is not possible for you to get them out, you got to get on the school board. You and a bunch of your conservative buddy parents have to get on the school board, and you have to push the extremists out. Because remember, they think we're the extremists now. Because we want our children to learn about true history, actual history, to learn civics, to learn science and math as it is, in its pure form. Because we want all of those things, because we don't want kindergartners learning about transgenderism. We're the bad guys, right? Because it's just like the Bible said. Everything that's bad is good and good is bad and up and down and all that stuff. So that's where we are, right? So we have to recognize that. So we have to get involved. We have to get involved on the micro level of our family. Base one, dads, you got to take control of your families. Men, you have to stand up. We need men, strong, masculine men who are willing to stand up, who are willing to do what's right, protect your families, and be the leaders that God put you on the earth to be. Step one. Step two, moms, we need you to be the matriarch of your family, to make sure that your children are being fed the right things, that you are managing the household, that you are supporting your husband, your spouse, your partner, so that he can lead the way. And together in partnership, you build an incredible foundation for your children and family. That's the way it's supposed to work. From there, we move on to outside in the community. Talking to my believers now, you've got to get established in a good, solid church. And if you cannot find one that is teaching true Christianity, is teaching truth about our Lord, about salvation, then you've got to start one. You get together with other like-minded families and you meet once or twice a week in your home. That's the way the early church worked. Don't go to these progressive churches with beta pastors that teach lies that you find out 6 months after you've been fed all this garbage, they're cheating on their wives, and the church knew about it and allowed it. Don't do it. It is time for us to stand strong, stand tough, and be who God put us here to be. Once you have the foundation of your church and your family, that solid foundation, you have to move on to your community. We have to be involved. We can no longer just focus on building and creating our family life, buying a house, all that kind of stuff. We have to create on the world, focus on the world around us. And that means you get on boards. You run for office. You make a difference in your community. And if we all would just do that, because don't forget, there are way more of us than there are of them. The media makes it look like there's millions and millions and millions of them, and that these radical extremists, socialist communists on the left are the majority of the population. They are a very small minority of the population. They're like 30%. Don't hate every liberal, because not every liberal is an extremist. Just like every conservative is not an alt-right extremist, right? Most of us do not fit into those two crazy extremes. We're the ones that are going to save the country. If it can be saved, if it's in God's will for it to be saved, we have to do our part. And so that's it. That's all I've got for y'all today. I have a lot going on. I'm not sure when the next time I will be able to shoot another video is, but I do hope, I do have to do some property tours, and so I'm hoping maybe I can shoot some video for y'all of some properties. I get lots of feedback that y'all like my driving around videos too, so I am going to be doing some longer driving way out in the forest, so I'm going to try and shoot some of that too. And that's it, man. I hope y'all hang tough through tomorrow. Oh, one more thing. I am on Telegram, and I am going to start an Ozark Prepsteaders Telegram channel where we can all get together and talk about what's happening here, how y'all are thinking, how y'all are feeling. And if you are thinking about moving to this area, I can answer questions. Other Ozarkians can answer questions for you, and we can build some community. Because I really think that's what it's all about right now. We have to build and rebuild community. That is how we're going to be successful. All right, that's it. I've talked your ears off, and I hope y'all are doing okay, and I will catch you on the next one.